Hi, my love. Hello, my love. So good to be here with you. So good to be there. Hmm. So yeah, I feel weird kind of introducing you, looking into your eyes, but for anyone who's watching, this is Natalie Abraham. And she is one of my best friends. She's a sister of mine. She's also an erotic educator. She is the founder of the School of Eros. She has a body of work all around the Erotic Mother, and she's a multi-talented, multi-disciplinary artist that creates beauty on the planet, and a teacher of love is what I would describe you as. And yeah, I'm just really, really happy to be sitting here with you to have a conversation about all of our favorite topics.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
And thank you for this beautiful introduction. It sounds very accurate to what is important to me to be in the world. So thank you.
Yeah, it's really nice to be here. We're sitting in a profesh setup, which I like, a new studio on Copenhagen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's bringing in a new flavor into this experience for me. So I just want to speak to that and bring it into the present moment. Yeah. And I haven't done a podcast in a while, so I'm really, really happy to be back, both in this setup, but also with you. I've wanted to sit and have a conversation with you for a while. I mean, we have many conversations, but with cameras rolling and microphones and capturing it to share with the world.
Capture what we talk about on the beach, naked on the beach.
Yeah, or in bed or wherever we happen to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love to start this podcast just asking all of my guests, what does feminine thriving mean to you?
Beautiful question. This is the name of your podcast, right?
The name of the podcast is Feminine Thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can share later about what that means for me, but just love to hear whatever comes up for you.
Yeah. For me, when I hear the word feminine and the work of the feminine right now in this age, I feel like we live in such a masculine world, actually. Like, even as women, we have learned to live life in the masculine role. We do things very fast. We have careers. We're moving. We're in action. We need to devour. And yeah, we are running. We are running very fast. And in that run, also, I understand that it needs to happen many times to get what we need in life and want in life. There is this first intention to move in the way the masculine has taken over the world. And when I think about the feminine, it's about gaining those first same dreams, but from the softness. So it's actually learning first to slow down. From the slowness, I can thrive, and not from the fast and needing to do and needing to be in action. So feminine thriving is different from thriving for me, right? Is learning the quality of the feminine, of the softness, of the sensuality, of being able to lay back and see how the world unfolds in front of me. Yeah, without, yeah, you know how the masculine do it. Yeah, it's just another way of living for me, the way of creating dreams, another way of getting what I want, or being in a career or being in a relationship, softening enough so we can also be connected to how we are feeling, to our senses. These things, we can only feel them when we are slowing down the pace of life. But this is roughly an idea of what it means to me to be a feminine and to thrive at the same time.
Yummy. Just slowing down to drink it in and see what wants to, arise and respond. All of those words really speak to me as well when I think of the feminine. This slowing down and the senses and the body and feeling and listening to life rather than forcing. And yeah, I'm curious, if there was a moment in your story where there was a something that caused you, or something where you chose to sort of intentionally slow down, or something that gave you a bit of a moment to reframe and actually live in a slightly less masculine way?
Yeah, beautiful question. I've not been asked that before, actually. I have this very random memory come up, and I'm not sure how relevant this is to this question, but I remember one breakup that I had, and I was in so much pain. I was already in the path of my awakening, let's say. Um, and I was living at the beach at the time, and I stepped outside of my room, my bungalow, and I looked at the sky, and I just opened up my chest, like physically. I just opened up my chest and just raised my whole being to divinity. And I listened to the wind. I accepted the dance that the wind was bringing to my body. And I understood in that moment, even in that pain, I love. And I understood from slowing down so much that I can be just in this moment and nowhere else. I can feel so much that everything that I'm feeling is transforming right now with me. And I started to use the wind as my guide. And that changed everything for me. It's like, yes, my brain thinks that I want certain things. I think I know what I want. I think I know what I'm looking for. But actually, I don't. And this relationship I have with the wind, which is my relationship to God, actually. But with the wind, I can actually feel it. Sometimes it's hard for me to grasp this big word, God. But the wind that I can feel on my face, and it's like, okay, where are you blowing me right now? And that puts me in exactly what it is a feminine thriving, is to be so still and so unattached to what I think I want, my goals. Like the masculine is going straight into the goals, but the feminine, she can take different paths suddenly. And it's like, okay, maybe this is a place for me. It's scary and I don't know what is there. But that's where all my greatest gifts came, from that place, from the unknown, from not sticking to my goal that I think this is what I want, or he is what I want, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, let's completely surrender and see what happens. And I lived a couple of years like that and got the greatest gifts of my life like that. And now it's very easy for me to be in a confusion of any kind, to just stop, close my eyes, listen to the signs, listen to the wind, listen to what is happening around me that's beyond my control or my mind or my judgments. Okay, fuck it. Fuck you. Sometimes. But I surrender. I surrender. So, yeah, that's a little about that. That moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this idea of the wind being a representation of God, something that you can actually feel and dance with in some ways, and attune to.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a beautiful song that I use sometimes in my classes. It's about when she realized the wind is actually kissing her back. Reminding me of that beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and surrender, like it's such a big part, I believe, of us. Yeah, being able to attune and see where we're being guided to, and from a world where we've been taught to control everything, and where we've been taught that a lack of control is bad, and that's when panic and fear and everything can kind of really unfold. This skill to be able to surrender and trust. And I believe it is a skill, and I believe it's a muscle really that we can build over time. I would love to know what has been able to help you to surrender more deeply to life.
love, my greatest teacher of all. You know, I'm doing couple dancing, like Latin couple dancing, and this is a very another pivotal moment for me. When I started dancing bachata and zouk many years ago, and learning the dynamics of what does it mean surrender, right? In the beginning, there's a leader, there's a follower, and I'm just doing what they say that I can do. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I foresee what I think they're going to do, and I go there, but it doesn't, and it changes in direction. And the art of surrender is so deep. So then I started working with shibari and ropes. And the first time I held those ropes in my hand, I knew actually it's not for me to be tied up in, but it's to tie, to learn the masculine ways so I can understand what it means to hold space for somebody that can feel safe to surrender. So surrender has many, many layers. And also there are many different parts of surrender. If I surrender myself to you, so there's my emotional part that also has a million layers. And then it's my physical body. Like, to surrender to someone is not just yes or no. It's 1,000 layers of how much do I allow myself to surrender to. And one thing that I learned about surrender is that it's not passive. You know, when I go to a massage, a Thai massage, and I just lay there dead, you know, that is passive surrender. You know, something is happening to me, but there's hardly any response unless I'm in pain and I scream. But, you know, my body is not surrendering. But the art of surrender is, how can something happen to my body and there is a natural response? But just because it's a result of what is happening to me. So I'm not leading any direction, but I am responding. If somebody's moving my hand up, it's just naturally continuing like a dance, yeah, like art. Like the body becomes art, the heart becomes art. And this is how I feel I live, as a piece of art. So what is surrender? When I want to surrender, when I want to be in my feminine, I consider myself a piece of art, you know, a moving statue. And like every finger, every part of me is like, I can make this bigger. I can make this more beautiful. I can stretch it out. I can take more space. Because I can.
Shine, lady, shine. Take out that space.
And it does break this whole concept of, you know, I went through this whole too much portal.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And it was beautiful. One day a few years ago, somebody said to me, "Is that too much?" And my daughter responded and said, "My mom thinks nothing is too much." And I was like, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Amazing. You know, it's so amazing that my, at the time, I don't know, 10-year-old can conceive me to be like, wow, nothing is too much for my mom. She can be everything she want to be. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Yummy.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful segue into your daughter and motherhood, because this is actually one of my favorite things that Elia, which is Natalie's daughter, she's ever said as well, that my mum says that nothing is too much. There's no such thing as so much. And it's like, wow, so good. And yeah, I of course wanted to talk to you about motherhood today because for me, you really, the way that you mother inspires me so deeply, and I feel it in my body, the way that I see you with Elia and the way that I see her as a result of your beautiful mothering. And you have gone deep into unpacking motherhood and really exploring what does motherhood mean for you and how do you express that. And you have a beautiful body of work called the Erotic Mother. So yeah, as we sort of maybe transition now into not just the feminine and surrender, but into motherhood, maybe you can just share your current present moment, whatever is alive for you today, on what you see as the role of motherhood or your approach or philosophy to motherhood.
It's funny because when I was creating the program, the Erotic Mother, so I obviously went online to see who are my competitions, who's doing something like me. Nothing. There was nothing on sensuality and motherhood. So it's either the sensual woman or the conscious mother. And there was nothing that brought sensuality, for example, and motherhood together. And so many people say to me, "Wow, you're a mom? Oh my God, I never would have imagined that." And I would say, "Why? Because you don't look like a mom." And I'm like, "Okay, what does that mean? What do mothers look like in the eyes of society? Certainly not like me." And that was really mind blowing, actually, and for me, and I get it because I could also see, if you asked me 5, 10 years ago, what does a mother look like? It wouldn't be who I am today. And that's been my journey. It's unpacking that. But I would say one of the main changes, of course, there's 1,000 layers into this answer, but the main change is I used to think that to be a good mother, I need to give up my life for my kids. Yeah, for my daughter. And I hear that from many parents like, oh, I lost my freedom, I lost my liberation, I lost my time, I lost. Um, I thought the same. In the beginning of me being a mother, I did dedicate my whole life to my daughter in the first couple of years, which I think also is necessary at that age. But eventually, through a very big slap in my face that happened at some point, I think Elia was around 2 years old. And I realized that she was responding to my feelings, my emotional well being. I was not happy. And she was feeling that and responding in her own way. And, that was really hard for me. And I went on this massive mission to be happy. And it was actually not because I wanted to be happy. It wasn't my priority. There is this comfort in being in whatever situation you're in. I was there. But my motivation came because I wanted to be such a good mother. And I was like, shit, I need to be happy. I need to love myself. What does that mean? And I went to find myself. And actually, in the eyes of the world, I was being a very irresponsible mother. I was a bad mother. Everyone was talking about me and bitching about me and gossiping, judging the kind of mother that I was. But I knew already in my belly, the minute that I understood it, it was like clear the direction that I'm going to go in. Everyone had something to say about it, but I didn't care. And I went on this path to completely liberate myself. So every time I walk into my house, I will be the example of what I want her to be. Never to say to her, you go after your dreams, you become independent, you share your emotions. My mom said to me all those things. She was none of those things. There was no model there. It took me 40 years to become who I am today. But Elia, she's now 12. She is the embodiment of me. Yeah. Because I did the work with myself, for myself in the end. And she is, I don't need to tell her too much because she is. Yeah, she is. And that's the most beautiful part, how I see her relate to her friends, to her stories, to her pains, to her, everything. How she responds to life is an inspiration to me. I'm like, wow. And then I look at the mirror and be like, wow. You guys are so fucking cool. You did so good. And I can proudly say that now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yummy. Yeah, it's amazing, and she is amazing, and you are amazing, which is exactly why I wanted this transmission from you in life, not just in this podcast. This is like a snippet of what I get to receive. You guys get a little bit. I get life. But one of the things that you just said is around like finding your liberation in every area, like finding. So what does that mean to you? What's that journey of liberation for you as a mother, as a woman?
Of course, again, like all these questions have so many layers, but if I could put it in a sentence, it would be to be exactly what I need to be like the most authentic part of me at every given moment. That is liberation to me. Yeah, it's like I don't need to mold myself to be any particular thing other than what I am right now, what I feel right now in all the shades. In all the shades. I don't need to look like certain something. So many things are changing in my body, in my health, in my emotions. Can I accept them all as a part of the human experience and celebrate them? Yeah, this is also how I became a poet in many ways, is because, all of these great poets, Rumi and they made pain into beauty. They turned anger into beauty. They turned solitude into beauty. And many times, if I can, look at the last years, and some of my most painful moments are also the most beautiful. I could paint galleries from that. So the liberation is finding also beauty in everything, in all of it, in absolutely all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. And I think that this liberation of being able to love all parts of yourself and be able to express those, because this is what's alive right now and this is who I am in this moment and this is what is as true as I can be in this moment. But as you said, also in all flavors, in all experiences, the grief, the rage, the discomfort, the ugliness, everything that comes up in all parts of us. And it's like not trying to only experience one part of life, but actually just embracing all of those as erotic even and beautiful and as an expression of love.
Exactly. And it also brings up like this dance between the feminine and the masculine, the light and the dark. Like so many, I'll speak specifically about women right now, but actually it's with the human race. We put ourselves in a box, an identity. I am this, I am that, so I'm not this and I am not that. And the beauty of life is when we allow ourselves to dance between all the shades. My masculine as balanced as my feminine. For my feminine to thrive, let's say, I cannot thrive without having a balanced masculine. Okay, so this is also a big wound of the feminine. The typical light feminine women that have not integrated their dark, they're not integrated their masculine, not healthy either. So it's like, okay, this is a beautiful expression of who I am. But in order to bring it out to the world in a healthy way, in a mature way, I need to integrate it. Yeah, I need to integrate it with my masculine, make peace with the masculine, and integrate it with the dark and make peace with the dark. Yeah, that changed my whole life. I come from a very light feminine past. And now when people look at me, it takes some time to see my light feminine. And for me, it's shocking. Yeah, because the dark is inside of it's where I come from. I now know it's where I come from. I didn't come from the light. I came from the dark. And revealing that was like, slap to my face. It's true. I come from the dark and I love it.
Yeah, I feel like there's this, like everything, this polarity, right? Like the dark and the light. It's like everything together, everything all at once. And it's, we can't be one. I mean, one or the other, or we can't have one without the other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I would just love to touch a little bit more on motherhood and the erotic mother. To give a little bit more to other mothers who are listening, I guess. I always feel like there's a little bit of a gap in my life experience. I'm teaching women all the time and I have a lot of mothers in my space and I'm always like, actually one of the reasons, not the only reason, I'm not going to have a child just for this reason, but one of the reasons that I want to be a mother is also to like transmit that in my work and to be able to really hold a deep and powerful space for motherhood. I believe it is a completely different experience of life in some ways once you've, birthed and are raising, and even if you haven't birthed, or you're raising a child. So I just want to give a bit more space to this because it's such an important part of womanhood. Maybe there are like a couple of principles or foundational things that you teach in the Erotic Mother that are some couple of things that you might be open to sharing now, or maybe there's one particular thing that like really like is alive in your body when you think about the body of work and the program that you were running for the Erotic Mother. Yeah, if there were mothers listening right now, what juicy things might you be able to share?
The first thing that comes up as you speak is actually to speak about the mother as an archetype, as instead of the mother in the human form.
Yeah.
Because actually we are birthing all the time. Yeah, we birth projects, we birth situations, we birth relationships, we are birthing all the time. And if I am not having a physical vaginal birth of a baby, it doesn't mean I'm not be a mother. I am a mother, we are mothers. And it's really this question on how can I mother in this world, in this life, without anything changing right now, apart from my perspective. Yeah, how can we hold, how can we nurture the people in our lives, the people in the streets? Yeah, how can we bring this energy of motherhood like really inside of us and outside, but from this ground? Why do they say Mama Earth? Yeah, because we are the ground that is stable enough for the people in our lives to fall on, to climb on. Yeah, we are that ground. And this is a really beautiful, just a beautiful teaching for people to know. There's some women that want to be mothers and cannot, and mothers that are women that, like, everyone has their own relationship into what it means to be a mother. And for me, it's not anything in particular. And yeah, if I think about an advice or something that I would give for women or mothers, let's say, what I find funny with many of the mothers that I know from my old years, they find it really hard to make time for themselves. It's like time. The thing about time is it's an illusion. You know, when I think, shit, I've got no time, then I don't get no time. Can't you spend 1 hour a day, a week, just to close your door and be with yourself? And they're like, wow, I can't even find 1 hour a day. But suddenly, you know, they want to do this course and they're able to give like 5 hours a day. Like, time is a matter of preference, such as self-love. Yeah, self-love is such a big word. What does that mean? But people do not prioritize self-care, especially mothers, because, there's lots to do. But when there is this understanding that I cannot give anything, even, again, another illusion that mothers think they are giving, but they're not giving nothing if they are not charged. Yeah, there is an illusion that I am giving my time, my space, my cooking, my blah, 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 blah. It's not clean. And the transmission is not being sent to the kids. It's just like having a worker in the house, actually. The only way I can truly give to anyone, but let's talk about kids for now, is from a place of a full cup or a semi-full cup. Certainly not an empty cup. Yeah, so if we understand that as a concept, then the priority of filling up my charge, however that may be, is number one. Number one, not even number two. Yeah, is number one. My happiness, my time for myself, for me, but charging my batteries began was with dancing. That as soon as I understood that, the first place I went to was the dance floor. Became addicted with bachata, was dancing 25 hours a week. I was not home in weekends. I was just out working, mothering, dancing, working, mothering. My husband didn't see me, my friends didn't see me. My priorities completely changed because I healed myself on that dance floor. And that's what I mean. It's like the minute that you understand that actually everything is an illusion of what you think you're doing, then priorities change. Suddenly time opens up to you. And yeah, the first direction is, how can I connect to myself, my heart, my body? Let's start there, because there's many other layers, but how can I connect my heart and my body? Do I still feel? Like, what is feeling? Is that a thing? Like, we live in such a fast-paced world that how many things in our daily life do we feel, and how much of them is just a robotic reaction to everything that we've known every day of our lives for the last 10, 5, whatever years, right? So it's like, okay, how am I feeling in my heart? How am I feeling in my body? And that begins the whole journey. Well, actually, I feel nothing. I'm numb in my body, in my pussy, in my heart. Okay, that's the beginning of the awakening. And it's scary, because suddenly you wake up at the age of 35 and you're like, wow, I'm in a cave. I'm in a dark cave and there's no way out. And I know that feeling very well, but there's a way out. There is definitely a way out. And what you need to do is just take one step into self. And for me, how can I feel more alive? What does that mean for me? And of course, there's thousands of ways that women can do. But it's just the first question to ask yourself. How do I feel? What do I need to recharge my batteries?
Yeah, I completely resonate with what you're saying, and I feel like the way out of the way is in, right? And coming back into this body, it's like we've turned off everything. We've become so numb, and yeah, the way to sort of reconnect with self and actually to recharge is to start to come back home into this body and to feel and to listen and to ask these questions. How am I feeling right now? At the beginning of every class that my feminine embodiment classes, guide women and say, okay, just tune into what emotions are present for you right now. And there's often, most classes, there's at least one woman that says, like, I don't know what I'm feeling. And it's like, yeah, because we've been taught to bypass and override and to shut everything off, to keep going and to keep creating and keep doing and keep this. And it's like pausing, slowing down and coming in and just asking these questions. How do I feel right now? What's happening in my body right now? And, you talked about an hour a day, and I'm sure there are many mothers that will laugh at you for particularly 5 hours a day or 25 hours a week. I like a mom that hour a week, 25 hours of dancing a week. They're like, bitch, please. All right. But let's say 1 hour a week, even like, or one class a week, just like, or 1 hour of closing the door, putting on a playlist. I've got many playlists on Spotify, feminine embodiment, open public playlists, 1 hour that will take you on a guided journey to just come back in and slow down and breathe and pause and listen and feel and feel and feel. And actually, one of the things that I love to sort of teach is that, like, us feeling what's underneath the surface, whether that be the grief or the rage or the frustration or the discontentment with life or whatever is alive, like actually feeling that is what transforms into aliveness, into life force energy. So when we're feeling dull and uninspired, coming in and actually feeling these difficult things, it transforms into this energy, which is what we live our lives by, this erotic way of living, this way of being in the body and in the feeling and the sensation and the juiciness and the aliveness, and following that as a guide.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it also brings up this idea that in order to transform any of these emotions, you need to feel it fully. Yeah. When we feel pain or anger or frustration or fear, and we stop it at the pain, and we, you know, do other things in order not to feel that, we avoid feeling it more. So we drink and we take drugs, or we have sex, or we put music on, or whatever it is, roll up cigarettes, um, whatever we find the way to bypass our pain. So that's how it stays in the body. Yeah, and we can live with that for years, actually. But the only way we can liberate pain, transform it, is through feeling it to the end. And that means death, actually, in many ways. And on the other side of that wall is gratitude. When you can be grateful for every single experience, every single person that's come in and out of your life, every trauma, everything. And there's no
Victimhood?
no, there's no alternative. Like it's every single situation fits in this idea that when you can find gratitude at the end of any of these moments, that's when rebirth happens. Yeah. That's when we transform our lives. That's when we grow. That's when our lives change. That's when we see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's that moment when we really allow ourselves to feel it all and say yes, say thank you, and then poof, explosion.
Yeah, I remember actually we went to Bali together in November last year.
We did.
And I just remember by the end of that, I went into a very deep process, very different to your experience of Bali. We went into different zones after our beautiful week together and when we arrived. But I remember coming through the end of that, I went inward in a very deep healing process, physically healing, and then turned into, and what I came through at the end was like the deepest gratitude for every single thing that had ever happened in my entire life, everything to be exactly where I was in that moment.
Right.
And honestly, since then, I was already in a big gratitude practice in my life. I'm grateful all the time. But like, there's something that happened just on a deeper level. And I feel like the portals that have opened up since then for me as well is like actually crazy. And I love this concept as well that we can, as we heal, our future gets bigger and our past gets better. Like, actually, we have a different lens on our past. So instead of digging through all the trauma and all the things that actually may have not been so shiny and perfect, actually, as we start to have gratitude for everything, even that becomes like has a different flavor. It has a different quality, a different energy. So even our past is like transformed.
Absolutely. Not just transformed, but made us who we are today. Like, if I look back at my deepest pains, like the moments that I thought I was dying, they were my gates to who I am today.
Yeah.
My gates. Like, if they would not have happened, I'd definitely not be who I am today. I would not have so much passion to be who I am today and to say so loudly what I want to say. Like, it really shaped and gifted me. It's like actually that I needed to go through them in order to become my destiny, right? And this is what we know when we meet people. Like, it doesn't matter what they gift us, what they take from us, how they make us feel, but they're all a part of our greater good. Maybe we don't have the eyes to see that, but if we have the belief, everything is for our greater good. Everything is for our greater good. Everything is for my greater good. Everything. This is the mantra. Everything is for my greater good. Whatever is not in my control. Yeah. You live life so simply. Like, no mind fucks, no stories, no drama, no like, da. No, it's like surrender. Going back to surrender. What is surrender? Everything is for my greater good. Everything. That's happiness.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a key. It's such a key. Amazing. Yummy. It feels like a really nice sort of closing to come back to surrender in that moment. And yeah, just going to feel into what feels good for us to bring this beautiful conversation to a close. I think maybe just like, let's take a few breaths. I always love in every episode to take a few breaths anyway, beginning, middle, or end.
Yeah.
So let's just, if you're listening, you can also take some breaths with us. So letting the air out of the lungs and then a deep inhale. Mm. Let's do 2 more. Hmm. So good. A little breath. Um, yeah, I guess I will love to ask you at the very end about anything that you're offering right now, but maybe, yeah, just to keep it open for you, if there's anything that you feel is alive to you, for you to share, maybe just as a final closing. Um, yeah, it would be really beautiful if there was like a connection to this theme of motherhood, whether it be the archetype of motherhood or the role of being a mother, or anything that's alive in you that's you want to share with these beautiful humans before we close.
Hmm. Hmm. I would say take a break, from the pressure, from the pressure of being something in particular. The erotic mother, the sensual mother, the mother, like all of these images of what that looks like. Yeah, even throughout everything that I've said today and what it become for me, like I never would have been in this moment if I had the pressure of what I thought it looked like, right? So I guess the first step is just to allow yourself to be human, to make those mistakes, to scream at your kids sometimes and just learn along the way of how to do that in a more healthy way. It's not that I don't go crazy, yeah? Just don't get me wrong.
I'm not perfect.
I'm not, but
There you are.
I am perfectly imperfect.
Yeah,
And this
exactly.
is my transmission to my daughter,
Yeah.
is that in my mistakes, if I snap at her, for example, sometimes I make amends and I say, I'm sorry. And I hold her. Or if she's driving me crazy and I cannot handle it, and I can say, I need space. Give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes, give me an hour. Yeah, I am transmitting my humanness. I have reached my capacity, for example. Or if if she is driving me mental and I'm on the verge of explosive, like now we have a word. Since she was 4 years old, we have a word, black hole. If anyone in the household says black hole, everything stops. Everything stops. There's no other word is uttered. Yeah, because we were like exploding many times, and then I would feel like shit, and we had a conversation. How can we work with each other so we don't get there? What would help you? What would help me? How can we stop? We chose the word together. So assess your life and see, how can I work with what is going on in my life, and how can I bring consciousness to it? Yeah. How can we work with what we have right now? So that would be my last word. It's like, it's all okay.
I love it.
Yeah, take off the pressure. Let's change one thing. Let's look at one thing and see how we can work with it, and then continue.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love this. It's been a theme that's been coming up a lot in my classes as well, where I feel like a lot of women, and we're just kind of like, okay, enough, like fixing, healing, like focusing, like achieving. It's like almost even that's pushing us, back into the healing process is pushing us back into the masculine of like, do more, got to be this, got to be that.
Exactly.
So, let's just all take a break and breathe.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah.
listen, and
Yeah, that's a great first thing to do. Is just in the chaos of life, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in wherever you're doing, in the middle of the supermarket, just close your eyes and breathe deeply. Ah, we can do that a million times a day. Come back to self. Yeah. Okay. No, you're not having any yogurt, So like come back. But first connect to self. Yeah. And also ask yourself, is this worth a fight? Who am I fighting for? Is it my mother's voice? I said to my daughter so many times, you can't have 2 eggs a day. Why? Because they're not good for you. Until some point I realized, wow, that's not even my voice. I don't care how many eggs she has. Have however many eggs you want. It was not my voice.
yeah,
So it's like this also awakening. Why am I saying what I'm saying? Why am I holding so strongly on these rules? There's so many things.
yeah, amazing. I think we'll finish there because we could keep going for hours. We probably will.
Yeah.
But yeah, just before we close, I would love to, well, yeah, I think want to say thank you first. It's like really a pleasure to talk to you, to do life with you, to yeah, to life with you. It's so yummy, and I'm so eternally grateful to have you in my life. I'm very grateful to sit here and have this conversation. I would love to have another one sometime very soon. So yeah, thank you for being here. And yeah, I'm just would love if you have anything you want to share, what's coming up in your world, what offerings, juicy things are you sharing and offering? I know you're about to go on a European tour for the summer, but what else is coming up for you, my love?
So I will be August and September on a tour in Europe. I will be in 8 different countries doing private retreats, tantra festivals, private sessions with clients. So people can reach out to me basically anywhere in Europe. Yeah, I have an online training called Unlock the Secrets of Sensuality, and it's this deep dive on the difference between sensuality and sexuality. So this is like a portal for women, mothers, even men. How is being a sensual woman different from being a sexual woman? Where can I allow myself to feel freer, and where is more constricted for me? So there's this, this completely changed my life because, whoever touched me would end up penetrating me. That was something that I knew, and nothing else would happen. So even with my girlfriends, like if we slept in the same bed together, they would not even come close to me. I would not allow them. I would go to one side of the bed and they would go, like, I did not have that physical contact, not with myself and not with others. So it's a really, really transformative masterclass. It's only 1.5 hours. It's life-changing. I just finished a 10-week training called the Erotic Mother, which was incredible. I'm soon going to open the registration for the next year, for 2025, which will be another 10-week portal. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much more than what I've already said, but it's all the possibilities of how to be a woman, how to be a mother, how to be an inspiration for self and for our children, our families. Yeah, like people can just reach out to me for any of these informations. I just released a book, which is not relevant, but so relevant at the same time because it's all about love. And I just released an erotic movie of women between women, which won five prizes in the International Film Festival. A 4-minute movie on eroticism between women. Yeah, there's a lot going on in my life. The best way to reach out to me is on my Instagram, Natalie's Queendom, which is kingdom but for queens. Natalie's Queendom is my it's
Instagram, yeah?
my Instagram, my website, my
Sorry, speaking over you, but yeah, Instagram, Natalie's Queendom, and nataliesqueendom.com.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
So yeah, check out all of the juicy offerings from this queen. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. And of course, if anyone is curious to get to know more from the Jade Temple, we have our free course, our mini course, Connect to Your Female Body, which I highly recommend. I think we've had like 800 women or more that have already done this free course. So really check it out. And yeah, thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us. Love you so much. And yeah, much love.
Wow.